All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, I have said here many times that the insecurity in Nigeria today is the brainchild of the northern faction of the APC. They raised the criminal Fulani militia to disrupt Jonathan's government, and with the agreement and support of the southern faction of the APC, they began wreaking havoc on poor and defenseless fellow northerners just to discredit the Jonathan administration. The northern politicians, elites, including the emirs and local traditional rulers, all knew and agreed to the plan. As soon as Jonathan left office, they took over the nation's treasury. They began looting, and they forgot that they had unfinished business with the monsters that they made in the forests. An emir could just be sitting in his sitting room and he would receive an alert of 50 million naira government money. Is this such a man that will remember that he has some terrorists in the bush? And seeing the neglect, the militia began to spread all over Nigeria, kidnapping citizens for ransom. That is why it is difficult for the APC to genuinely fight bandits and kidnappers, because the perpetrators are their boys. But the chicken will always come home to roost. Bandits and kidnappers have now moved from picking passengers on the highway to attacking emirs. Yes, these same emirs who had a hand in their creation. Before I show you this ferocious attack on an emir in Zamfara and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you how northern governors made a mockery of insecurity in the north. Northern governors wanted to hold a meeting concerning insecurity in the north, and they looked round Nigeria and found no place good enough, quiet enough for them to hold a meeting, and they decided to travel to the United States of America. Look at how the papers reported it. 8 northern governors from Nigeria's poorest states, one other counterpart, fly to US for 3-day conference on insecurity. 9 northern governors, 8 of whom are from Nigeria's top 20 poorest states, are currently in the United States of America for a 3-day conference on tackling insecurity in Nigeria. What an irony. The governors include Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State, Governor Diko Umar Rada of Katsina State, Governor Dauda Lawal Dare of Zamfara State, Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State, and Governor Muhammad Umar Bago of Niger State. Others are Governor Ahmad Aliu Sokoto of Sokoto State, Governor Muhammad Nasir Idris of Kebbi State, Governor Umar Namadi of Jigawa State, and Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State. The conference is said to be designed to address insecurity in northern Nigeria and profile better options to mitigate the challenge. The AIT reports that the conference, which involves intensive executive engagement, will enable the governors of some of the most terrorized states in northern Nigeria to have a deep understanding of the dynamics of security threats, its socio-economic dimensions, and near-term opportunities to drive stability in the region. The strategic engagement, being anchored under the tutelage of the Vice President of the Africa Center for U.S. Institute of Peace, Dr. Joseph Sani, will also focus on policy coordination and management of peace and stability in Nigeria. The program, which is billed to end on April 25th, is part of the ongoing efforts of the northern governors, especially those from the northwest geopolitical zone of the region, to set a regional development agenda for their people. You heard that? This is nothing but a huge mockery of the insecurity situation in northern Nigeria. Let's take it back slowly. Governors of states in Nigeria flew to the US to have a deep understanding of the dynamics of security threats in their states. Who is going to teach them that in the US? Who? Strangers, right? And they said they also went there to learn the socio-economic dimensions of insecurity in their own states. A governor of a state flying to the United States for someone else to teach him the socio-economic dimensions of insecurity in his state, something that he should be pouring out from the top of his head. This is nothing but shameful. And look at how Nigerians reacted. Look at some of the tweet reactions. This tweet here by Tonia says, why must they hold the meeting in the US? The money they used to make this journey can provide boreholes for their communities. How many times have we heard that US left their country to Nigeria for meetings? I don't understand the kind of madness that is going on within the Nigerian political class. I don't just understand. And this tweet here says, you can imagine the audacity and insensitivity. Of all places, you guys chose US for security meetings concerning the North. Well, that's what Nigeria has degenerated into. A shameless and pathetic leadership by a band of irresponsible men, vultures masquerading as leaders. It's such a shame. Now, let us look at that attack on the palace of an emir in Zamfara by bandits. Look at how the papers reported it. Bandits attack palace in Zamfara. Emir whisked away. Armed bandits have ambushed Zomi town, the headquarters of Zomi local government in Zamfara state, where they attacked the emir's palace in an attempt to kidnap the emir Alhaji Muhammad Bunu. A resident of Zomi, Malam Aminu Saleh, told our correspondent in a telephone interview that the bandits went straight to the palace of the emir and started shooting sporadically. But the emir was whisked away by the security agents to Gusau. The source said that when the bandits could not succeed in abducting the emir, they destroyed one of the transformers and a telecom's mast network booster. According to the source, the bandits killed 3 people who were kidnapped during the incident. He said the bandits, who entered the town at about 11 p.m. on Wednesday, also attacked the house of a former military administrator of Nasarawa State, Colonel Bala Mande, retired. In fact, we, the residents of Zomi town, have witnessed a terrible situation from the bandits' attack. This is not the first time the bandits have entered Zomi town. It is not the second time. Similarly, the bandits had again on Wednesday last night attacked Maru town, the headquarters of Maru local government council, where they killed 1 person and kidnapped 3 people in their invasion. A resident of Maru town, who identified himself as Aminu Maru, told our correspondent through telephone. According to him, the bandits spent more than 2 hours operating in the town. It took them bandits over 2 hours operating in the town. And as I'm speaking to you now, many residents, mainly women and children, have fled the town for their safety. It could be recalled that armed bandits on several locations had attacked Zumi and Maru local government headquarters, where several people were killed and kidnapped. All efforts to reach the spokesman of the State Police Command Public Relations Officer, ASP Yazid Abubakar, on the 2 local government attacks were abortive, as his phone was always reading not reachable. Always not reachable. You heard that. Now, to put it in a clearer form, it was actually a gun battle between hundreds of terrorists and security forces at the palace, including soldiers and officers of the Nigerian police. But at the end of the day, the security forces were able to escape with the emir to Gusau, the state capital. And to prove that the bandits actually weren't afraid, they destroyed a transformer. They actually waited behind and destroyed a transformer and a network mast out of frustration of not getting the emir. In the other local government, they said they operated for 2 hours uninterrupted. Now, at the beginning of the conspiracy against Jonathan, using these Fulani militias that have now become terrorists, the emirs never imagined that they would one day become targets. But here we are today. And there is hardly a way for an emir to permanently escape this sort of attack. Is he going to abandon his palace? Which emir is next? Those are some of the questions that will be reverberating the minds of the elites in the north right now. The terrorists killed 3 other people while they were about to leave. What a loss. Now, the common man in northern Nigeria must wake up. The solution to insecurity in Nigeria is fighting it sincerely. You can see they came to the palace and the emir was able to escape. But how about the common man? How many of them have been able to escape? In the other town, Maru, they said people, women and children have fled their homes because of fear of terrorism. And the solution to these terrorist acts is for us to fight them sincerely. And that sincerity is lacking in the APC. It can never be, because they were part of those who created this insecurity in the first place. If Nigerians want to get back to enjoying the relative security that we had in this country before these monsters were formed, if we want to have our freedom back, if we want to, as a matter of fact, begin to enjoy the dividends of democracy as an oil-producing nation, then we need to come together and get the APC out of power. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So don't go away.